Place launch trajectory and countdown net. Pad is clear.
10, 9, 8.
Launch auto sequence has started.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go for launch.
Vehicle is supersonic. Stage separation confirmed.
Hello everyone. You're watching a feed of Falcon 9 rocket preparing for launch at 7:02 Pacific time from Space Launch Complex 4 East in Vandenberg, California. Today's marks SpaceX 76th mission of 2024 and 360th Falcon 9 mission overall. This is a coverage of the Arctic Satellite Broadband Mission, known as ASBM, led by Space Norway. With just 13 minutes and 43 seconds until launch, let's dive right in. On board Falcon 9 today are two Northrop Grumman-built satellites, ASBM-1 and ASBM-2. These satellites will provide continuous commercial and military broadband capacity to the Arctic region above 65 degrees north latitude. Today's mission is particularly exciting for SpaceX as it marks first launch to the highly elliptical M orbit. In this orbit, the apogee, or the farthest point from Earth, is about 40,000 kilometers away, and the perigee or close point can be close to 600 kilometers. The orbit is carefully positioned around Earth by adjusting the inclination and argument of perigee to make apogee as far north as possible. A satellite in this orbit moves faster when closer to Earth, allowing it to spend significant time over the northern altitudes, making passes about every 12 hours or twice per day. With a perigee of just 600 kilometers, the satellite speeds across the southern hemisphere before reappearing in the northern hemisphere. This precise balancing in timing and orbital positioning means that just two satellites in the Miller orbit can provide around-the-clock coverage of these northern latitudes. We will show a great illustration of an orbit shortly. Now let's learn about today's mission, payload and mission.
The Arctic, a landscape of thousands of miles of floating ice, extreme temperatures, and magisterial beauty that has remained untouched for most of human history.
Yes.
We only reached the North Pole in 1904. A blink of an eye in the planet's lifetime, the world is changing fast, and so must we. The Arctic is growing in importance as governments, organizations, and scientists embark on vital missions. Airlines, shipping companies, and military vessels and aircraft are increasingly looking to northerly routes. In many cases, polar paths are more direct and save on fuel. And as the world changes, governments too are looking north to support further Arctic research, better understand the impacts of climate change, and be prepared for the future, whatever it brings. Connectivity holds the key to unlocking it all.
The need for high-speed coverage in the Arctic has been a priority for the Norwegian government for a long time. As far back as in 2006, the Norwegian government stated that the Arctic is Norway's most important focus area. We worked with several potential partners for a long time, but it became apparent to us that no single government or commercial company would be able to shoulder an investment like this by itself. The first piece of the puzzle came into place when a representative from the US Air Force approached me during a conference in the US and asked if there was room for a US military payload on board the ASBM satellites. After that,
Viasat
and the Norwegian Armed Forces were able to commit to the program.
The evolving operational environment drove an increased capability needed in the Arctic region. And now that the Arctic is more accessible, maintaining peace in the Arctic region is of the utmost importance. The partnership with Space Norway was explored because it addresses integrated deterrence and building relationships with our international partners and allies. With the growing strategic need for the North Polar region, we provide a more resilient capability. We provide 2 times polar SATCOM, and we've delivered this program faster and with significant cost savings.
Northrop Grumman is the prime contractor responsible for the satellite vehicle, the communications payloads, EPSR payload, as well as the EPS CAPS ground system. So we are providing the end-to-end capability that is the ASBM. In June, Northrop Grumman built 2 satellite constellations for Space Norway's Arctic Satellite Broadband Mission, departed from our manufacturing facility in Dulles, Virginia. This was a sector effort as we provided all 3 major components to bring commercial broadband and protected military satellite communications to the Arctic. We proudly designed, integrated, and tested the ASBM space vehicles, which includes 2 flight-proven GeoStar 3 platforms and X-band and Ka-band payloads. We also provided a pair of EPSR payloads and the EPSR CAPS ground system for this mission.
With the launch today of the ASBM satellites embarking Viasat's GX-10 payloads, we take an important step in providing broadband connectivity into the Arctic region. The GX-10 payloads represent an important step in Viasat's evolutional network, providing broadband connectivity for mobility users no matter wherever you are, whether it's aviation, maritime, governments or scientists working in the region. Together through collaboration and teamwork, we're providing connectivity in the Arctic region that's been unavailable in the past, and this is a vital part in the evolution of Viasat's networks.
The ASBM program is a groundbreaking effort in an allied, governmental and commercial collaboration, both in a cost-efficient manner as well as showing how governmental and commercial needs can be met. We're already looking into new Arctic projects where we hope to bring in more of our allies, and we're looking forward to providing the first dedicated broadband services to users in the real Arctic.
The Falcon 9 rocket on your screen is a 2-stage rocket developed and manufactured by SpaceX, renowned for its safety, reliability, and cost-effectiveness in accessing space. It is the most frequent flown US launch vehicle and the first and currently only orbital class rocket capable of reflight. Starting at the top of the vehicle, which is partly obscured by fog, you can see the carbon composite payload fairing. This is a small protective small shell encases the payload being sent to space. For the scale, the payload fairing is about 17 feet in diameter and can hold an average size fire truck. The fairing is made of 2 halves that will separate and jettison away from the Falcon 9 when it reaches space. Today's payloads are the ASBM satellites manufactured by Northrop Grumman, Moving down the vehicle, the second stage is powered by a single Marlin vacuum engine MVAC. After stage separation, the MVAC engine will ignite and carry the payloads to the orbit. The first and second stages of the Falcon 9 are connected by the back interstitial, which houses the MVAC engine card and provides the initial thrust to lift Falcon 9 off the ground and move through the lower, denser parts of the atmosphere. Each Marlin 1D engine delivers about 190,000 pounds of thrust at sea level, giving Falcon 9 a combined thrust of 1.7 million pounds at liftoff. After stage separation, stage 1, also called the booster, will return to Earth using a combination of Marlin sea level engines and 4 titanium grid fins located at the top of the booster to guide it during re-entry. The Falcon 9 first stage is also equipped with 4 landing legs that deploy just before landing to ensure vertical touchdown, either on a landing pad or a drone ship. For today's mission, we are attempting to land this booster on our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, which is stationed in the Pacific Ocean. This mission marks the booster 202 second launch and landing. having previously flown Crew 1, Crew 2, Sirius XM8, CRS-23, Transporter 4 and 5, Global Star FM-15, IS-1 Arrow C3, Korean 42, Max R1, and 10 Starlink missions. This is quite an impressive resume for this particular booster. Prior to the start of the webcasts, the Falcon 9 team performed functional checkouts for both the SBM payloads and the launch vehicle. At T-minus 38 minutes, the team confirmed a go for launch. The strong back retractor began pulling away from the vehicle, and the valves between the first and the second stages opened. At T-minus 7 minutes, engine chill began to prepare the Merlin engines for flight. The first stage is connected to a launch mount on the base of the transporter erector TE, which is the structure you see next to Falcon 9. The next call load will confirm the strong back retraction.
Stage 1 lock load is complete.
Through the fog, you can see the strong back has pulled away from the rocket by 2 degrees. At T-minus 0, the ground hydraulic system should track the T from 2 degrees to 45 degrees from Falcon 9 to allow sufficient clearance for the rocket to move away from the launch pad. At this point in the countdown, both the first and second stages are nearly fully loaded with 1 million pounds of rocket kerosene, fuel, and liquid oxygen. Both stages will complete propellant loading about a minute apart from each other. We're now waiting for the call-out from the mission control. The periodic venting sound you hear is normal as we vent chilled gas from above the LOX tank to maintain constant pressure. Typically, you would see liquid oxygen condensing into clouds around the vehicle, but today the best indication we have is the audio feedback. Waiting for the LOX call-out on port stage 2, confirming that Falcon 9 is fully loaded with 1 million pounds of fuel. The next call-out will be at T-minus 60 seconds, indicating that the Falcon 9 has entered startup mode, meaning the rocket's anonymous flight computers have taken over the countdown. At T-minus 2 minutes, 2 seconds, the Merlin engines will ignite for liftoff.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
The ASBM payload is healthy and Falcon 9 is tracking no issues. The range is green and the weather, while a bit foggy, looks good. Falcon 9 is startup mode and the launch director has given the final go for today's mission. At T-minus 7 seconds, all systems are ready for launch of Falcon 9. Let's watch as Falcon 9 takes the SBM mission to space.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 15 seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff of Falcon 9. Go ASBM. Vehicle pitching downrange. Chamber pressure is nominal.
At T plus 33 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from the Space Launch Complex 4 East, carrying the 2 SBM satellites. After clearing the tower, the power and telemetry on board the Falcon 9 are looking good. The engines on the booster are initiating a slight roll maneuver. The Falcon 9 is moving faster than the speed of sound, and we have confirmation we've passed through the period of maximum aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle.
Max Q.
As the Falcon 9 accelerates through the low atmosphere, the air density decreases, but the speed increases, shifting the pressure balance on the rocket. After passing through the max Q, the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure, the air density lowers faster than increasing speed of the vehicle. Falcon 9 continues on its way to space. Upcoming are 3 events in quick succession: MECO main engine cutoff, stage separation, and SES-1 second engine start. MECO will shut down all 9 Marlin engines on the first stage to prepare for the stage separation. After separation, the booster will begin its return to land, while the second stage will perform SES-1 by igniting MVAC engine for the first time. We are keeping an eye on those events, which are expected in about 5 seconds.
Main engine cutoff. Stage separation confirmed. MVAC engine chill has started.
Stage separation confirmed. We have the main engine cutoff, stage separation, and second engine start 1. The next major color is fairing separation. The fairing, which protects the SBM payloads during ascent, will separate once we reach space. Fairing separation confirmed. We have great views of the fairing separation on your screen. We will attempt to retrieve the fairing halves with our curved vessel Go Beyond, currently stationed in the Pacific Ocean. In just over 2 minutes, we anticipate the entry burn, which will last about 20 seconds of the first stage booster. At T plus 4 minutes and 30 seconds into flight, you have great view of MVAC engine on the right side of your screen, carrying the SBM satellites to the intended orbit. The next major milestone is the entry burn for the first stage, starting at T plus 6 minutes and 22 seconds. This burn will relight the 3 Marlin engines on the first stage to slow the vehicle as it enters through the atmosphere, reducing heat from the atmospheric friction and ensuring a nominal trajectory. Both stages are on a nominal trajectories now.
Vehicle is on a nominal trajectory.
As seen on your screen, the second stage is continuing to pick up speed and altitude. The engines on the first and second stages are quite similar, but the marlins on the first stage are optimized for sea level, delivering 190,000 pounds of thrust each. During both ascent and descent, the MVAC engine, in contrast, features a much wider nozzle, visible on the right side of your screen, as it is optimized to produce 22,500 pounds of thrusts in the vacuum of space. One of the upcoming significant milestones we are tracking is the entry burn.
Stage 1, boost back burn.
Confirmation has been received for entry burn startup on our first stage, visible on the left side of your screen. Good callouts from the mission control indicate that Falcon 9 is progressing well on its return to Earth. We have excellent views of the great fins maneuvering through the atmosphere. As a reminder, we attempted to land this booster on our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, carrier station in the Pacific has been confirmed. And with that, we have about a minute remaining until we hear SES-1 or second engine cutoff for the MVAC engine on the second stage. Shortly after, we'll receive the call off for the landing burn, the final burn of the Falcon 9 booster. The FTS is served with the good call-outs from the mission control as the first stage continues its journey back to Earth. The second engine FTS is served and the stage 2 is in terminal guidance.
Terminal guidance.
Stage 1, transonic.
Entry burn shutdown has been confirmed, and with that, we have about a minute remaining until we hear SES-1 or second engine cutoff 1 for the MVAC engine on the second stage. Shortly after, we'll receive the call out for the landing burn, the final burn of the Falcon 9 booster.
Nominal orbit insertion.
Stage 1, landing leg deploy. Stage 1, landing confirmed.
This was a beautiful touchdown of Falcon 9 rockets. In addition to this, we have also received confirmation of second engine cutoff and a nominal orbit insertion from mission control. The MVAC is performing well in space with 2 ASBM satellites on board. This marks our 22nd launch and landing on the first stage, and SpaceX has now successfully recovered 318 operable class rockets, including Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy first stage landings. We are now entering a roughly 28-minute course phase before the second engine start 2 or SES-2 of the MVAC engine on the second stage at around T plus the 6-minute mark. For now, let's enjoy some space tunes and we'll return for SES-2.
Here's the pad. 25th century AD. We sat there and looked at a rocket from Mars, and you just boggled the mind and mind and mind and mind. And the technology caught up, didn't it?
Hello and welcome back to our live coverage of the Arctic Satellite Broadband Mission (SBM). We have returned from our first coast phase just in time for second engine start 2. In about 30 seconds, we'll initiate a roughly 40-second burn of the second stage MFOC engine. This will be the second burn of the MFOC engine tonight. The first burn occurred around T plus 2 minutes and 45 seconds mark and lasted for about 5 minutes and 30 seconds. This additional burn will position the SBM payloads into their intended orbit for deployment.
MVAC engine chill has started.
Confirmation of SES2 is now in. As previously mentioned, the MFOC engine shown on your screen features a much wider nozzle compared to the sea-level M1D engines on the first stage booster, optimizing thrust performance in space. The MFOC can achieve 22,000 pounds of thrust in a vacuum. The SBM satellites are equipped with both military and civilian payloads. The two satellites on board SBM1 and 2 confirmation of the second engine cutoff 2 has been received with a good orbit insertion of SBM1 and 2.
Nominal orbit insertion.
MVAC shutdown.
One satellite report. ASBM-1 has been deployed and we are now preparing for the deployment of SBM-2. The SBM payload consists of two North Grumman-built satellites, SBM-1 and 2, which the latter has the deployment expected shortly. We'll see you back in about 4 minutes for the deployment of the ASBM-2.
Acquisition of signal Hawthorne.
We are now approximately T plus 47 minutes and 10 seconds into today's mission, and we're waiting for the deployment of the second SBM satellite. Great views from the space show SBM-1 on the left side of the screen, with its deployment having occurred about 55 minutes ago. Confirmation of the SBM-2 payload deployment has been received and the mission control. Confirmation of SBM2 payload deployment has been received from Mission Control, and we have excellent views of the successful deployment of SBM2. With that confirmation, we are concluding today's webcast. This mission marks SpaceX 360th overall and 76th mission of the year. We thank Space Norway for their partnership on this mission and appreciate all of you for joining us today. For more coverage, visit us at Space Networks Launches. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.